Hello, Marketplace conference goers, and welcome to our fireside chat. I'm Mark Barry, and I'm responsible for the strategy and go-to-market function at Stripe in EMEA, focusing especially on startups and SMBs. I'm joined by Tolga Önal, co-founder at Elopage, and today we're going to discuss how Europe's creators and platforms are driving economic recovery. But before we do, let me set the scene a little. Stripe's mission is to grow the GDP of the internet, and there's no corner of the internet that's more exciting than the creator economy. Creators will soon pass more than 10 billion in aggregate earnings, and while 2020 saw a jump in new creators, it wasn't a one-time spike. A year later, creators are still coming online at a record clip. The number of creators is up almost 50% year on year, and in total, these platforms have onboarded almost 700,000 creators. If the recent growth of the creator economy keeps up, these platforms could be supporting more than 15.5 million creators in 5 years, representing more creators than there are people in Istanbul. Stripe supports platforms in the creator economy using Stripe Connect to onboard creators to their platform and to facilitate monetization. With Stripe, Substack enables writers to start paid newsletters, and Twitter lets creators share premium content for their super followers. Elopage is a Stripe customer and the digital platform for business, enabling entrepreneurs to start and scale their digital business with digital products and automated sales. Based in Berlin, Elopage is a platform and payment provider for digital entrepreneurs, creators, SMBs, and enterprise businesses, and they recently announced the successful completion of a 32 million euro funding round. The Series A funding, which is Elopage's first ever round, is backed by leading tech investors, including lead investor Target Global, as well as France-based Partech Ventures and US-based Avid Ventures. Elopage was founded in 2015 by Özkan Akilik and Tolga Önal, with the mission of empowering and enabling digital entrepreneurs to launch and scale their online businesses by selling digital products, courses, memberships, and subscriptions. The company is capitalizing on the momentum around e-commerce, edtech, and flexible work, and is a meaningful contributor to the emerging creator economy, which is estimated to be a 32 billion market alone. So now let me introduce you to Tolga. Tolga, please join us. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Elopage.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for this wonderful invitation. I'm very happy to be here. And it's very, very cool to get invited and to have this wonderful opportunity to talk about the creator economy and about what we have been doing, also with your help in terms of like having an impact on like this big change and actually, helping the creator economy turning into the next big middle class, because this is something that we see as an underlying big trend. So it's not just the creators that we empower, but it's also all entrepreneurs around this area of creator economy and people who like the new trends, the new methodologies of sales, the new way of like transferring know-how and basically products, information products to their customer bases. So we're actually tackling this area from two sides: creator economy by itself, which is like a huge thing, and on the other side, getting also the middle class on this train and helping them to digitalize in the same way. So that's what we do, Mark.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. So tell me, how did you get into the creator economy? What drew you into this industry?
Mark, like 5 or 6 years ago, we were basically an iOS and Android app similar to the US example of Venmo for the German-speaking area. And we couldn't raise funds. We couldn't find any way to actually monetize the traffic on our app. And then we came up with the web version. And with the web version, we actually started to talking to some of the people whether they can use it for their business purposes. And I believe actually the same group that actually helped this creator economy to emerge is the same group that we actually tackled and found in terms of like initial customer base, which are digital nomads. And it came actually very quickly. Some of them wanted to sell their ebooks, and they asked us whether we can actually have like a payment gateway, behind that payment options, like a payment page, and actually drop a file once the user is paying and getting that ebook or some zip folder with some files or some downloadable checkbook, whatever it is, to be actually downloaded. So that's how we actually came into this information economy. And I have to be very honest, back in 2015 and 16, nobody was talking about the creator economy. So even these digital nomads who actually invented this thing, basically, what I believe is the origins hidden, with all these 4 hours rule principles and like travel and earn money, so automate your business. So none of them were talking about the creators economy, and they were also not describing themselves as such. But this is the very beginning of Elopage, and we were sticking to this group and then grew from there, basically, and could luckily monetize and become profitable without investors. So that's basically the story.
Thank you. I mean, we talked, I opened up with some kind of eye-watering numbers about the number of creators now. If you think about, like, digital nomads have found their home in the internet wilderness. You know, it is the creator economy now. So what's your perspective on those numbers and that growth? Why do you think the economy is booming in the way it is today?
In 2018, we started like going hunting again and tried to raise funds. And actually, none of the investors believed that there is a market. So in 2018, the market was at zero, but obviously we had some volume. Today, I think also, I have to admit, thanks to Corona, this creator economy now became a mainstream topic because everybody is like much more sensitive on this. So in terms of numbers, as you said, there is a mix of ed tech because a lot of creators create content to teach people, to educate them, to sell information. And if we look at education technologies and the market, it's like a $400 billion market. On the other side, we have this passion economy, which is basically turning YouTubers, Instagrammers, TikTokers, and all of these people who actually love doing what they do and who actually commercialize or try to commercialize or monetize on their passion. We have a market here of like 40 to 50 billion. But to be very honest, there is actually no exact data who these creators are and how much they really do. What do we know? The market is growing and it's actually overlapping, and like there is a spillover effect to many other industries. So you can even have creators within companies all of a sudden turning that company also into the creator economy. So there is like a lot of stuff going on, but we estimate the global market to be somewhere at around like $100 billion, to be very honest. And one little thing you have, for example, like many millions YouTubers, but only 1% is really doing money. And if you look at the data, you just like count the 1%, but actually the 99% sell productized services. They try to do different stuff. They maybe consult people, but they're also creators, but this data is not really covered. So I think that black number is much, much, much bigger than what we know from the public figures.
Right. Okay. So a huge long tail, kind of like the App Store, right? I mean, isn't it something like 99% of apps are never downloaded, and of those that are, you know, the utility in them is certainly less than that 1% again, right?
Exactly.
If you think about, I'm curious. You mentioned there about ed tech. You also fashion. You talked about companies as well. You know, maybe as part of their social strategy or as part of their brand strategy. Are you noticing trends in different markets? Is Europe different to the US, for example?
Like we have now also been in touch with a lot of US customers, and obviously we look at the companies, what they do, and how the creators actually act in the US. I think the European entrepreneurs or creators have to think more in terms of like diversifying products and actually creating more products on average than the US guys. What I see from the US creators, they can launch and scale with a couple of products. Let's say it was 3 courses, 5 courses, maximum 10 items, and actually really scale into the market because they can just like meet many more like US or English speaking customers versus the German guy. He doesn't have like that market landscape basically and that market width. So that's why this person has to actually create like more diversified products and actually create some long-term products. But what I can say is the creators, also the entrepreneurs creating products on the European level, and especially let's say the German-speaking market, they have higher revenues per customer, so the LTV is higher than the US guys because they sell at scale, whilst these guys in Germany and Europe sell more on the vertical to one customer. And this is one trend that I see.
Okay, that's super interesting. I mean, I think hasn't it ever been thus that European businesses need to think globally? There are very few that well, maybe not very few. That's a total generalization. In the digital economy, at least, even before the digital economy, tulips from Amsterdam were in more places around the world other than Amsterdam, right? So, I mean, Europeans, I think, typically have to think with global in mind. Isn't that correct?
I agree, but I think like if you take the ordinary businesses, except for those who are like exporting, like by nature in their business model, I think this is not very common to for a normal German company to create English content and ship it worldwide. So, however, what I see is maybe they may not go to the US, but we have a lot of customers who actually use also our infrastructure to sell from Germany in 25 languages to each and every European country with localized approach, with localized checkout experiences, currencies, etc., etc. So I think the trend is coming, and one thing what the creator economy is definitely doing, removing borders. So it's like if you want to buy know-how today, if you want to become the best marketer today, you don't go to university to study it. So you basically find that best marketer, and he may be from the US, and you buy his courses. And I think this trend is also reflected to the seller in Germany, thinking, okay, I might actually sell globally. And when it comes to digital products, courses, etc., it's even taxation-wise a bit simpler to manage. So that's why I think that this trend will even create more international business than ever before.
Oh, fascinating. Let's talk about the creators for a second. So if the creator economy were a thing maybe 15 or 20 years ago, perhaps I would be an internet sensation singing and playing my heart out across the world. But how do creators of today, abandon the 9-to-5 lifestyle for maybe something which is more desirable and more for them? What are the kind of challenges creators face today, do you believe?
So first thing to everybody, I don't know any creator working from 9 to 5. So we kept launching products 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning to just get the items into the algorithms and actually have some scaling momentum. So there is no 9-to-5 rule. This is something that I can immediately confirm from our side. I think the fact that creators work like with a lot of freelancers, with like different levels of people, programmers, designers, using platforms like, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention, but like Upwork, you basically use talents from the global potential. And once you start collaborating with these guys, you don't have 9 to 5 anymore, because you might have some programmer from India whilst having some designer from Brazil and another copywriter from London. So when will you actually get your 9 to 5 thing? And I think internet and also the SaaS costs and the cost of reaching and developing, for example, content products, be it also like taking some video courses, it just dropped to maximum $100 a month. So all the creator needs is $100 to kick off his business and then have access to resources on a global scale. And I think these dynamics simply force a creator to forget 9 to 5, but rather move into 4 hours focus, switch to break, have 2 days of break, then work another like 80 hours, when you are in the creation mode and like launching a product, and then having another break. I have friends like creators who, after the lockdowns were like lifted in Europe, they went to Dubai for 3 months and literally doing 0 sales. So you have this bumpiness in revenues, which is affecting us negatively. So they think in a more free way and actually focus on their content, on their output. Once they feel like, now I'm going to hit it, the momentum is there and I'm going to create. And I think these are the dynamics that really change the way of working and doing business.
You mentioned something there, which I think it's an ingredient to a business opportunity, which is you said there about allowing creators to focus on their product. Anything that can allow a creator to focus on their product and not on something that's not related to their product, but they need, surely that's adding value, right? This is where Elopage comes in. So tell me, I'm a creator. How does Elopage help me? How do I interact with Elopage?
So first of all, we see ourselves as an infrastructure platform. So there is a comparison, for example, what Shopify is for e-commerce companies, we are, or Elopage is for creators, for influencers, for entrepreneurs selling digital products. So the first thing is, we don't view creators as people doing like $50 a month. We view them as companies. And I think every creator at a certain point comes to a level, before burning out, by the way, where he or she notices, okay, I have some sales, I have some volume, but now I notice I have to do taxation, I have to do billing, I have to do dunning processes, I have to manage my customers, I might need a CRM, I have some email marketing automations, and all of these things. And actually, we see them as mini startups. Okay. And that's why we think and we claim, and that's also our offering, that we have to offer an end to end platform covering the full value chain for a creator, from the creation of the products, from the sales, automation, and all of the back office operations. And this is basically where we come in. And that's basically where we actually create this solution. And I want to ask you, Mark, maybe also from the audience, if there are some comments. Like, many people think creators just do a couple of bucks, right? Like maybe $500 or 1K a month. So like this really micro economy. But what do you think? What is the average price that is like on our platform being sold for paid products? And what do you think? How much is the average creator or entrepreneur doing on our platform? What is your opinion on this? I hope you don't know our data from Stripe, but
my guess, my guess. So I'm going to give you maybe a slightly confusing answer. I think if you're a creator, you love what you do. Now, of course, you are a company as well. You're a business. So at a minimum, you need to be making a living out of the work that you're creating. So I don't know, maybe $1,000 a month, €1,000 a month.
Okay, so I can tell you, like, per sale, actually, the average cart value is like roughly 270 to $300. So they sell courses not just like for $5, $10, but they really make some dollars on this. And the other point is, we have users on the platform. We actually have now more than 100 Elopage millionaires, which is very, very cool. And we even have 20 users who are doing like double-digit millions, so above 10 million. And we have thousands of people doing 50K upwards up to $500,000 a year. So it's really not anymore like this tiny economy of selling some piece of content, but really turning the creator power into business power. And that's where we come into the game, basically.
Wow. That's a piece of business that I think many people would like to be involved in. I'm going to switch to payments for 1 second. We work together, in powering Elopage and payments through Elopage. How can payments be a strategic lever or an advantage for creators, do you think?
So basically, the destiny of Elopage and the creator is the same. So I can actually tell you the biggest challenge. I think in history, when a company was going or expanding internationally, they were taking country by country, right? So now with Stripe, actually, we face a big challenge that we can fix with Stripe, because the creator economy requires you to go global immediately. So you cannot say, hey, I'm going to expand to UK, and then I will go to France, and then I will go to Spain and do it step by step. But it's rather like, can you actually sell immediately to the global area? Because when you have TikTok followers or Instagram, etc., you don't choose where they're going to follow you from. So why would you choose where they come and buy from? You have to basically open up. And I think when it comes to payments, validating the customer, knowing the customer, actually getting like payment and acceptance, this opens up a new market. So in this case, payment and being able to get paid from as many markets and as many countries as possible becomes even a marketing secret than simply an infrastructural move. And this is something that we discover more and more. And all of a sudden, one of our users, he created some dance videos. I just give you a real example for the German speaking area. And at certain point, some Bollywood creator took like those dance videos and he published them in like Hindu. And all of a sudden, this guy's made millions of views, and now they have people coming from India and buying the course. So you can actually say, no, don't buy it, or you actually say, okay, I am localized. I try to speed up, get up to speed, get localized, and actually offer my product. And I think payments in this case even becomes the marketing secret and not just and conversion, of course, and not just the infrastructural move. And this is something that we experience.
Right. Removing friction, making it feel easy, making it feel local. Right.
Exactly. What I also notice, aside from that localization and frictionless experience, it's very interesting. There is no one secret in terms of payment plans. Like I see a lot of people offer one-offs, discounted prices, but also installment payments, subscriptions. So all of these business models that you can imagine, like from SaaS, for example, or from the marketplace dynamics, people actually use. And one more thing, it's very interesting. Like creators think a lot in partnerships. So when you follow a couple of creators, they continue to cross-promote products from each other. So they do it quite heavily. So you have a lot of friends coming together, doing videos and cross-engaging the audiences. So when you then have, for example, split payments and also commissioning, they actually use it. Yes, they don't use it for millions of business partners, but they may use it for 10 or 20 business partners at scale. And this is something, also the dynamics that we see really is like a mini startup logic that we discover continuously.
Right. As it the fact is that they can do it, even if maybe it's not everybody. You're creating new opportunities, maybe where those opportunities were hard to get to in the past. I have one question, which excuse me, we caught up before coming and talking to everybody today. But I thought of something as you were talking, which I'd love to get your perspective on. When you think about Elopage's growth and you think about building a platform business, how important is product-led growth versus sales-led growth for Elopage?
So this is some business secret, but I'm okay to actually tell you a bit about this. So far, we are not really a sales driven, but a marketing driven company. And 90% of our business comes through marketing and closing the customer immediately. And the sales organization that we know from SaaS, for example, where you have your SDR and then that is qualifying, then you get to the sales guy or AE, account manager, etc. This silo way of organizing things. This is not working for us. We tested it because the creator, when you have him on the phone, for example, and you say, hey, I want to sell you software, and they actually say, okay, I'm interested. When the demo takes place, right at that moment, they say, okay, let's jump on a call. Let's have an immediate demo. I'm going to start today. So you don't have this enterprise sales motion. So product-led growth then becomes even more important because they're like digitally affine people. They like to go test stuff immediately and have quick results, because that guy might sit at the airport, prior to a flight and now checking out for a software. He will not research for 10 years to use the software. He will just decide in a couple of minutes. And then PLG strategies become very critical to initiate the initial success momentum. So you as a platform, you prove that you can deliver a solution in no time. And this is the most critical thing for a creator, to move fast.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what we found too, that, a product-led strategy it was formative to how we got started in the first place. We built for developers, but building a product that essentially anyone can use without ever really having to speak to anyone at Stripe. And in some cases, they don't want to speak to anybody at our company or as another product company. What they really want is, help me do this quickly. Help me find my way to whatever it is that you are serving me in a way that causes me the least amount of friction possible. And for us, certainly, we obsess about that user experience and that product experience, because
Exactly.
that is, the product is our number one salesperson. That's right.
I don't know to what degree our teams have now. I mean, I know we collaborate on the onboarding cycle, and this
Sure.
is exactly the reason why we actually also integrate Stripe. Because if you ask the seller to then upload documents and be in an endless cycle of KYC, KYB process, I mean, legally we do everything right. So we try to adhere to all of the policies, but still there is a one way doing the things and the other way doing the things. When you put up legitimation processes right from the beginning to your platform experience, doesn't make sense. So can you have a proof, and then once the customer decides, hey, I like it, he's ready to actually go do the legitimation processes. And this is a fundamental change, I think.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the time. We're almost at time. A very quick last question for you. What advice would you have for other SaaS platforms, other SaaS companies that are trying to enable their users to grow?
So in terms of creators, don't be like how do you say don't be disappointed when you don't get those folks on the phone, because they might be traveling, they might be somewhere. So this is something like, don't be disappointed. What I really suggest is, when it comes to 0 to 1, do things that don't scale. Really support them, help them, do things that, like, in terms of unit economics, might not make sense in the very beginning. You will learn like a lot. And then from 1 to 10, I think inbound growing, like in terms of our target group, getting the inbound steps right. And we have been educating our users a lot to actually become our customers, going one step further in the journey and saying, okay, I take you from the education, I will develop you to the level where you can actually use me and where my software makes sense. This is highly critical, from 1 to 10, this inbound. And now from 10 to 100 million ARR, of course, we are like getting to different challenges. Now we built up the platform economy and try to actually get into partnerships. But this, I can tell you next year or in 2 years if this worked. But from 0 to 1, this worked. And from 1 to 10, the inbound strategy with educational funnels definitely worked for us.
Okay. Do things that don't scale in the beginning.
Yes. Put some passion inside, put some love inside. People will notice.
Wonderful. I'm just looking up to see if we have any questions from our audience. But while we wait for that, I think we've a minute, 2 minutes left. I'm going to ask you couple of quick fire questions, Tolga.
Sure.
Just for a bit of fun. Netflix or hiking?
Too much Netflix, but for now, Netflix, yeah.
Fair enough. YouTube or Instagram?
YouTube, definitely.
Bitcoin or Ether?
Ether now.
Okay. New clothes or new phone?
I need a new phone.
Apple Pay or cash?
Apple Pay, 100%.
Okay. Maybe controversial one. Baklava or Schwarzwälder gestört?
Of course, baklava, man. Like, that's for sure.
Well, Tolga, listen, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a real pleasure to talk to you and hear about Elopage's journey. We're delighted to be working alongside you and helping you power the growth of the creator economy. To our audience today, thanks so much for joining. We hope you found us enjoyable and interesting, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Mark. It was a pleasure. Hope to speak to you very, very soon, and thanks everybody for listening.
Goodbye.